Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing video number 2 in my exploration series. So I asked in my last video which inks you'd like to see, and I got 1 vote for greens and 1 vote for pinks and purples. So I flipped a coin, and as you can see by the title and by my fingers, I did pinks and purples. So we will get right on to it. So the first one I have is Pen BBS 270, which is Strawberry Milkshake. Thank you, Miss Turtle, for sending this to me, because it is beautiful. So for this kind of group, I went for basically the same thing as I did in the browns. Murky, kind of subdued forms of pinks and purples, I guess. I do have a couple of bright ones, and I will talk about those. And I put that in my Visconti Homo Sapiens. I don't know if I will use this again for these ink exploration videos, because this thing took me like 3 days to clean. I soaked it so many times. I don't think I'll use it again. I think I will keep 1 ink in this pen for the rest of its entirety, because that was a big headache. Alright, so this is Pen BBS 270. Strawberry Milkshake. It's kind of a pinkish purple color. It is kind of separating in the swatch, and you can see like a little bit of blue right there. I like that. So that's kind of why I put it in this pen, because this has a broad nib, and I think it'll kind of make those other colors come through a little bit more so than a finer nib. So that is pen number 1 and ink number 1. The next one I have is again from Miss Turtle, and it is Monteverde Rose Noir. And I swatched these the other day, because I received these I think on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. So I swatched them either 2 days ago or yesterday. I don't really remember. The days are all just becoming a blur. But I swatched them kind of far away from each other, so I didn't realize that they were as similar as they are. So again, I'll probably just pick the one that I like best and move on. So I have that in my Pen BBS 308, and I'm going to get this started on another piece of paper, because that was not working. Okay, so here is Monteverde. Rose Noir. It's a little deeper, I guess. A little brighter, I guess I should say. The Pen BBS color is a little more subdued, but I like them both, so one of these will probably win out. If I do choose either of them, I'll only choose one, since they are so similar. Alright, the next one I have is Robert Oster Dusky Pink, and I chose this because Miss Turtle sent me, a while ago, she sent me Robert Oster Rose Gilt Tint, and I love this color. It is a shimmer ink. It literally looks like you're writing with molten rose gold. Just like liquid gold is coming out of your pen, and I love it. It's beautiful. So I was trying to find the same color just without the shimmer. For no particular reason. I love the shimmer in this. I was just wondering if I could find the color without it, because I do also just love the base color of this. So I'm actually going to swatch this, and then next to it, I think I'm going to swatch the Rose Gilt Tint and see if they are pretty similar. I love that color. So I have that in my Opus 88 demonstrator. And that is not really anything, at least in the swatch. You can see that it's separating into the blues. I like that both in the writing and in the swatch, but it was not what I thought it would be when I swatched it. So I'm going to swatch the Rose Gilt Tint. I'm going to see if it's settled and maybe just try to get that base color. Kind of. Alright, we'll see. Actually, I'm going to do it in the end. I'm going to do this last because I don't want shimmer in the rest of my swatches. So I'll just put that off to the side, and then I'll do that last. The next color I have is Sailor Ink Studio 237. And I have that inked in my Pelican. Ooh, I like that. The Sailor Mano line tends to be pretty dry, so I'm hoping that the Studio line is not as dry. So just to be on the safe side, I put it in my Pelican, which is a medium nib, and it is slightly a wet writer. So we'll see. I like that. It's bright enough without being too bright. All right. And we'll do another one from Miss Turtle. So this is Monteverde Mulberry Noir. And this is a really pretty purple. I don't tend to like purples. I don't know, there's a lot of colors I don't like. I don't really like blacks or grays or reds. Not that I don't like purple, I guess. I don't know, purple is just not a color I would choose for inks or clothes or really anything. But when I swatched this, I thought it was beautiful. It is like a perfect shade of purple. So I have that in my Birmingham pens, and I took off the flex nib for the purpose of this, and I just put the Knox nib on it. It is, I think, a fine or a medium. It doesn't say. when I do choose a purple, I prefer blue purples. So I guess that's probably why I like this. It's a very cool toned purple. All right, I have 3 more. I have, in my pen BBS, I have Noodler's Black Swan in Australian Roses. Yep, it's a Noodler's ink, and yep, I love it. And I don't even need to do this week's worth of writing to tell you that this is one that I'm choosing, so I'm already putting it at the bottom. But I wanted to, I mean, I've already used up the entire sample, so does anybody else never use up their samples? It's only like a couple mils, but I just never get around to using the whole thing. I think I've used like 3 samples completely in a couple years. But I know I like an ink when I can finish it completely. So this is one that I'm choosing because I absolutely love this color. So I just wanted to use it up this week. Okay, that took so freaking long to get that to work, but okay. Is it swan or swans? Swan, okay. Alright, so I already know that I'm choosing that ink. Oh, as my cap rolls away. So I am just going to, oops, just put it here on the bottom like I did with the last, in the last video. And then on the other side, I have Diamine Claret or Claret. Every time I see other people use this ink, I really like it, and then I've put it in, I think, 1 pen, and I was not a fan, but maybe I just need to find the right pen. Alright, so that is the side with the washi tape on it, so I'm going to put a W under it. So that I remember. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit purplier than Black Swan, but it's nice. And I have one more ink, and that is in my Kaweco. Let me just fix. I like my clip to be in the same spot so that I can really see that patina. So I like to put it right where it says sport so that you can still kind of read it. But anyways, I have Iroshizuku Momiji, and the reason why I got this ink was because a while ago, Miss Turtle sent me Iroshizuku Bishamonten, and I fell in love with this ink, like so deeply in love with this ink. And unfortunately, this is a limited edition that you can no longer get anymore unless you want to pay big bucks for it, which I am contemplating, but I wanted to see if Momiji was close enough to where I could be happy with just getting one of their basic inks that are already in their like permanent line. So I did kind of compare the two. So Momiji is more pink. They both have the same kind of like yellowish sheen to them. Bishamonten is like a little bit more magenta. I wonder if I mixed Momiji and Claret. I wonder if I could get close. I may have to try that. I like mixing my inks. I'm considering doing that for 30 Inks 30 Days in November, is doing a whole series of mixed inks. So let me know if that is of interest. But I wonder if I can mix the two and get close to it. But anyway, so I wanted to see if I could be okay with this one instead of my True Love. So that is the brightest one that I have. And I put that in my Quebeco, which is a double broad. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these are my 8 colors. Have Strawberry Milkshake, Rose Noir, Dusky Pink, Sailor 237, Mulberry Noir, Black Swan and Australian Roses, Claret, and Momiji. I do want to compare Dusky Pink to, where did it go? I've lost it. Oh, right here. I want to compare it to the base color. Yeah, that's settled enough. Okay, so not at all similar. I am considering adding the rose gilt tint already to my collection, like just putting it down here and not even swatching it, because I know that I know that I love this color already and I don't really need to swatch it and test it out, because it is seriously like writing with liquid gold and it is so cool. And I don't know, it's a shimmer unlike any other shimmer I've ever used before, because it's not like sparkly. The shimmer makes it almost like milky, if that's appropriate to say. I don't know if that's like gross or weird to think about, but it does. It gives it like this milky, creamy looking texture that's also like gold, rose gold looking, and I don't know, it's just really cool. But here are my colors, and I will see you back in a week. So October 8th, I will come back and I will let you know how I feel about these colors. Bye. Okay, I'm filming this on Wednesday, the 7th, instead of Thursday, because I've already made my decision, and I kind of already made my decision a couple days ago. This one's gonna be super quick because I'm really only picking 2. Obviously, the Noodlers is already down here from before, and the second one that I will be picking is Momiji. If Bishamonten was still available, I would choose that, but what is happening outside? If Bishamonten was still available and I could get it for less than $80, because that's the only price that I can find it right now, is if I buy it from Italy and pay $40 for the bottle and $40 for shipping, still may consider that, but it is outrageous. So if anyone has Bisha Mountain and wishes to sell it to me for less than $80, I would be forever grateful. But like I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted to see if I could be happy with Momiji, and I am. It is not identical, but it is similar enough that I am happy with this color in my permanent collection. So I will talk about these. So in the beginning of this, when these two were wet, they looked very similar, and as you can see, when they are dry, they are vastly different. The dusky pink and the rose gilt tint, they didn't look similar when they were wet, but as they dried, they did kind of look a little bit more similar. This is the rose gilt tint with the shimmer. I dried it with my heat gun, so that's why it looks a little weird, but when you write with it, it looks more like these kind of pooled areas rather than this pink area up here. But I do love that color, so I will not be purchasing that one because I do love that. I just was curious to see if there would be a color close to the base color without the shimmer, just because shimmer is kind of a pain in the butt to clean, but to me that color is worth it. Will I put this in my permanent collection? I mean, I do love it, so I don't know, maybe. Should I? I do love this. I love this ink. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy a bottle of it, call it a day, because that is just liquid gold and I love it. All right, so strawberry milkshake is a no. When it is wet, I love the color. When it is dry, however, to me it just looks muddy. There's no shading, and I used my broadest, wettest nib for this because I thought there would be, but there's really not much of anything. It just looks very muddy. It is a very pretty color, but it is not something that I would want to use all the time. Rose Noir is a little bit too purple for me, so that is also a no. I guess I shouldn't say it's too purple for me. It's not the right shade of purple. Like I said, I don't care for purples, but when I do want a purple, it has to be the right shade of purple. I don't know. I don't know what I want in a purple. It's just not that. So dusky pink is also a no. I'm going to put a yes by that. So let me get that one so I can swatch that at the bottom too. Mulberry Noir, again, it's just not what I'm looking for. I already have Lamy Azurite, which is like a bluish purple like this. It just has a really awesome lime green sheen to it, which I much prefer. This one was just kind of meh. It's alright. So it is a no for me. Noodlers obviously is a yes. Diamine Claret, again, meh, didn't speak to me. So that is a no. And Momiji is a yes. Bisha Mountain, if I could ever find that, would be a yes, and I would get rid of Momiji. So that's kind of the purpose of this experiment, is to find other colors that speak to me in the way that Bisha Mountain speaks to me. Because when I write with this color, I feel it in my soul, as cheesy as that may sound. I don't know, different inks evoke different feelings for me, and just like motor oil, I love writing with that color. It speaks to me, and so does this one, and so I guess I'm trying to make a collection of inks that make me feel the way that those two inks make me feel. And that's not to say that I'll never buy another brown ink, the purpose of doing this was to kind of find out, hey, I don't like orangey browns and I don't like reddish browns. So now when I look at a sample, I can kind of hone in on that and really see what I like and what I don't like and maybe choose wiser. And maybe I'll find something that eventually will make it down there. But that's not saying that I'll never ever buy another brown ink or never ever buy another pink ink. It is just my way of trying to figure out what I do and don't really like. So I already have Black Swan in Australian Roses here. I wanted to compare it to Iroshizuku Yamabudo because they seemed a little similar, and while they are, this one is just more purple and this one is more pink, and Yamabudo also has some sheen to it. I already have this in a bottle, so I'm just gonna finish. I think it's like halfway gone because I've had it for many years. I'm just gonna finish this one before I buy this one, just because they are kind of similar. So I'm gonna finish that one off first before I purchase the noodlers. But okay, so I have that down at the bottom. I'm going to swatch the other two, and then this video will be done, and I will move on to the next group, which will be greens. And I can tell you, I filled those pens up this morning. They are giving me all the feels, and I am so glad, because writing with these colors, while they are pretty, it was difficult. And that's why I'm filming this a day early, because I'm kind of over it. They just made journaling not that it didn't make it fun or anything, but it was a struggle for those 6 days because I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm glad to be in more earthy, my kind of colors. All right, so there is Momiji, and this is the Rose Gilt Tint. All right, so those are my winners. Again, if anyone has this ink and wants to sell it to me, please, please, please. I won't give you my firstborn child, but almost anything else I will give you. All right, so there is my 3 pinks, and I will see you next week for greens. Bye.